Hey kiddo, welcome back to another episode. I am your host Trina, and I am joined with my co-hosts Zeb and Jake.
Hello.
Hello.
And today we have a very special episode because we have a guest with us. We have Hydroxate, or Connor. We'll probably hear both as we talk today. If you just want to say hi and introduce yourself a little bit.
Hello, everyone. I'm Hydroxate, the artist formerly known as Hydroxate. But yeah, I've done everything. Warframe content creator, used to be the fashion frame video guy, do TennoGen for the last few years, and I've done a lot of different things in the Warframe space. Yeah.
Well, awesome. We're super happy to have you with us. And of course, we're going to talk a lot more about your experience with Warframe and, the things that you do. So we'll get into that here in just a little bit. So I guess our first question for you is, how did you get into Warframe and kind of find this world?
Oh my god. Well, I was trying to find the date, and I have the first screenshot in Steam that I know that I played, and it was November 13 years ago, or November.
Wow.
The Warframe came out in March. I started playing in November. That was kind of so
Oh,
I missed
okay.
the founders by 2 weeks, which I'm still very angry about.
Hey.
But I played all the way back. I think it was the Necros update, update 10 is when I started playing it. So it was only a few months after it launched. So it's been I've played it from nearly the beginning. It's been a long few years. But I was in college, I think, back then, and I was always kind of I love MMOs. And I was looking for that next because I was disappointed in everything else. And Guild Wars 2 was kind of dying down. I was like, oh. So I was like, when this kind of came up, I'm like, I don't really like sci-fi. But when I saw the idea cyber technic ninjas, I'm like, that's kind of cool. So that was kind of what scratched the itch. So when I downloaded, I'm like, oh yeah, it was cool. But even then, it was a very small game. But it had that little thing of there's something there that's different and unique. And that's what kind of hooked me. But I think it's nothing really came out in the meantime. There was some big main title games that came out, but there was no real online game. So once I found out the whole the relays, and there was a community in the forums, that's when I really oh, this is going to be my game that I'm just going to lose all these hours to, So
Yeah,
that's where it all
for
began.
Yeah. Did how did your schooling go while you were trying to play Warframe?
It went fine. Luckily, I I limited myself, but it wasn't one of those things where it's it didn't conflict. I still did my studies, still my things,
That's
but
good.
it'd be more I would stay up then maybe it's 1 a.m. playing, and then I'd be knackered the following morning going to college. I'm oh, it's worth it. It's fine. You're in college. I could have been doing much worse than playing.
True.
Online,
Very true.
No.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think I had the same experience. I kind of started in college as well, just around probably the same time as you. So, yeah,
it's the perfect thing to do. I said, now, obviously, the working professional life and growing up, there was a period of time where it was I had less time playing it. But now I'm finding myself I'm actually making more time to play the games I want. So it's not as bad nowadays. I'm not in college times, but I'm much better than I was when I was in my early 20s.
Yeah, I think a big thing for me too when that game came out was that it was free as well, because I was living off of ramen and sandwiches, so
Can you
it was
believe,
the
though,
perfect game.
I downloaded it and I knew within the first evening I paid for something. Because
Oh,
it was
really?
when I when they give you Excalibur, Volt, and Mag, I was oh, they're kind of boring. Even now, I still oh. But I paid for Frost the first day. That's why
did you?
okay. Frost has been my that's my boy. So it's
Oh, nice.
I never usually do it in mod. I mean, no, actually Genshin I did. But most games I don't buy the first day until I play it for if I play it more than a month, then I'm okay, now I'll pay for something. But I was so I hate these T frames. I want the Ice Boy. Because in all games I always go for Ice Mage or Water Mage. I
okay.
need something that gives me that thing. So it was well
awesome.
worth the €5 I paid worth the platinum back then.
yeah.
I need that rule. I have too many skins in games. I only have 10 hours in.
No.
That's true. Yeah. I think you got a bunch in Marvel Rivals.
No, we don't talk about Marvel Rivals.
yeah, exactly.
I think for me too, I'm kind of the same way as I play a free to play game for a little bit and then I'll spend money, but yeah, it's that dollar to hour kind of ratio for me. How do I get the most of my money here? So yeah.
And then they give you the
way.
discount they give you the discount, and then you're like, well,
they know how to get you. They know how to get you. But like that's why, like like a Soul Frame, for example. When I first played, I'm like, okay, I know the thing. I know where it's gonna go in 5-6 years.
Right.
Now I don't mind paying for the founders package, but like I remember.
Yeah, you got it.
But as a student, I would not pay $130 for something. So it's kind of like, when I missed it by 2 weeks, it's like, oh, it's fine. But then, like 2 or 3 years later, when I heard about what Excalibur Prime was, like,
yeah,
I could have had no pasta for a month. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think what the thing is going to be for Soul Frame that I'm going to be like, dang it, I should have gotten that so long ago, So
I mean, I think it's just a sword they're saying, so it's kind of like you're not really missing much.
Yeah, I still got it because I'm like, well, I missed. I also missed the Warframe one. So.
Yeah, I wasn't missing the Soul Frame one.
No, exactly. Yeah, that damn Prime that we missed. So yeah.
Go ahead, Jake.
No, I was just gonna talk more about like, so you've done some stuff for Warframe for Digital Extremes, I guess, as well as some TennoGen. Like, did you want to kind of talk about how you got into that and whatnot?
I mean, I worked on Warframe twice in my life. One when I just finished my master's, because I studied robotic and software engineering in college. So I was like, I'm going to be a woman in STEM. And then I was like, I hate robotics and I hate software. So I decided I was going to do I did my master's in UX interaction design and, all that kind of stuff. So once I finished my master's, I just literally, I messaged Pablo. I'm like, do you need any help? And then he's like, no. And then he came back a week later. He's like, oh yeah, we can do some help with the new player experience and stuff like that. So I worked for like 3 or 4 weeks just fixing the new player experience, and this was the old one, like all the small little things of how you can make things better, lots of improvements across the game, so it was lots of little small things that were just like niceties. Some of them are still like in the game, but the new one has changed a lot. But the only thing I remember that I was kind of going through my old thing, like what did I work on my first one, but it was the adding the tooltip on every drop that tells you where you can farm it. Like, like the locations of, like, there's lots of these small little golden nuggets. Like, that was what I did. Because I have the notes of, recommendations. So then that was only like
all
few
the time.
Weeks. Yeah. I'm like, that's the good one. So that was only for like a few weeks. And then, finished the report, finished all the stuff, done, cool. And then it was only a few years later when I was working in the Netherlands, working on, I was kind of tired of my job. I reached out again, like, hey, do you need any help? Like, that kind of stuff. So they were just, when it was like, I think it was just, when did the Vitruvian art style come out for the UI? Was that Second Dream, or was that the War Within? I think it was War Within.
Okay.
I think so.
That's when we were.
So we're talking like 7 years ago, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they wanted to redesign a lot of the screens. So I basically, the guy, once again, they're like, yeah, Connor, cool. So I worked on basically, I had to bring all the clan systems to the new art style and also redesign them, and then I had to do the store and the arcane manager as well. So that's kind of all the stuff that I touched with that update. So I'm making like, now the current trading flow is a lot more simpler and cleaner. Before you'd have to go in and select, and now you just it's much more refined. And then like making sure all the like the other things, it was easier to see things in the inventory views. Like that's kind of what I did for the clan tech. It was nice. But then the storefront was much bigger, like new art style, but also making more clear that you actually build things versus the old way was kind of hiding them away, the blueprints that you just think you'd buy. So bring that up, and also bring the fact that you can gift things much, So what you see now is kind of what I worked on.
Right.
And then the arcane manager was just make it a bit easier for like, in the future, if there's like more than 3 ranks or 5 ranks or, multiple texts, how we can make these. So it was like it was sweeping a lot of different things, not just the art improvement, but like look at the improvement, the issues that people had in the forums. Like that was when I think there was some sort of an AK secondary weapon came out, and before you could only trade 5 things, but this required 6 items to build the weapon, so you'd lose out on 2 trades to build 1 thing. So that's why we increased it like to 6. There's lots of these small little things that were just annoying people.
Right.
And that's kind of, so that was lovely. Like I worked on that. But it was also the same time where I was like the TennoGen was starting to happen. So I was learning. I wanted to basically learn how to do the 3D modeling and do the skins because I was friends with like Fav and PS. He doesn't make skins anymore, but his Grack skins are still well known. So it was the same time where I was learning like, okay, I'm going to do the 3D. I'm going to get my first drawing tablet, get the ZBrush, get the all the stuff, and learn the pipeline. And I submitted like I did first a collaboration where I drew the sketch of an idea, which is the Vistixio Limbo skin at the top hat and the monocle. I worked on lead, so that was kind of me to learn the process of how it's actually done through the concept side. And then I said, okay, I want to earn the money for myself. I want to earn.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I was working for myself. I was like, it would be nice to have passive income, Before now, the COVID hit, everyone's like, get passive income. This was, but like, 9 years ago. So yeah, that was kind of where I started. I was like, okay, I want to learn this. So I learned the whole pipeline. Submitted something, didn't get in, but then I'm like, I know how to make these things though. So then it's just like improve until eventually, like, you just keep firing things at the store, waiting for the feedback. If you get it, you improve it, and then eventually now I have a few things in the game, and I'm still trying to go back to it now because I took a little break for a few years.
No, I was gonna say I've seen some of your stuff on your socials and
hopefully
stuff
more.
like that.
But I also made I also had a YouTube channel where I was like obviously a Gay Guy Plays used to have the fashion, his little videos about the things, but I was kind of one of the only purely fashion frame YouTubers at the point. So I kind of I was also doing the content creation of that with doing the TennoGen, and like there's a lot. So I was basically putting myself really into the Warframe community and putting my things there. So I haven't done a YouTube video like in a while because it takes a lot of time to render and do it, and I like I like the fancy graphics. So it takes I lock my computer out for 4 hours to render a video where I couldn't be doing stuff, So so that's why now I think I'm still the only TennoGen guide, like how to make TennoGen items in things, because I'm the only one that makes content and have done the TennoGen. So it's still relevant, kind of. It's still mostly relevant. So I still get people messaging like, I started TennoGen because I saw your videos. I'm like, oh my god. It's quite nice, but it's also like someone did listen to these and it did actually pay up. It worked. So yeah, I've done a lot of things in the Warframe community. Like it's nice. The community has always been fun. But also I made a lot of memes. So many memes.
Oh, okay.
Prime Time was my showcase of like just all these awful shitty memes.
That's awesome. Yeah. So like what are some of the TennoGens that you have then?
I have a helmet for Gara, the Ruan helmet, which is like the glass visors.
Okay.
I have my proudest one is the Bonaparte Vauban, the one that's like inspired by Napoleon with the nice hat.
Oh, cool.
There is the Vistixio, obviously the Limbo one. And there is one more that I can't remember. I think there's 4.
That's 4.
Okay.
But yeah,
that's awesome.
So that's and now I'm working on things like I'm working on proper Banshee skin and proper my art skill has improved the longer I left it. I know my brain. I figured out the way I do it is if I don't touch it for like 2-3 months and I watch videos passively and I just get inspired, I come back and I'm like I'm so good at this. So I don't know, like, so me doing it constantly does not make me better. Me taking breaks from it makes me better. So that's why I try to take little,
for sure. Yeah.
You kind of burn yourself out if you are constantly doing something.
Oh,
right?
absolutely. So. Yeah. I think I saw one of yours on your socials and it was like Atlas. I think it was Atlas. It was like harps.
Oh yeah, the Signet competition. I
thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I wanted because I know everyone was going to go edgy, and I was like, I want something that's a bit more delicate and soft, but it's just nicer, like two little harps that have like the phantom little. But we haven't heard yet what's got in. But yeah. I thought I don't want to see because I've seen some submissions now because they're only going to pick 10, and some of the ones that I've seen in the meantime are literally like, oh, I'm not getting mine in because there was none, and then suddenly they're like, now everyone's submitting. Like we had a cat ears one. If that get in, they're loaded.
Oh,
like, that is a cash mine. Like, you have to make a financial decision, but also a creative decision because you're like, if I do a skin or something for a Warframe that's not used, it will either add people. The people will buy it and might make them use it more, or it will actually just not be used. Or if I make a skin and now they just release a deluxe skin, you're not getting it. Like, so like it's a really like financial decision. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's so cool that they do that, though. I love that they kind of open it up to the community and whatnot, and then also like you can get paid for it. Like
you can get paid well. Like
yeah, there's
that
one.
Give them the highest amount on the workshop. Like they give 30%.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
yeah,
cool.
They
like
give
10%. But digital games give you 30 for like every set part. Because like Steam
awesome.
take a big amount.
Oh,
and then
right.
They take some amount and they give us the creators 30% of the sales, which is like
yeah.
You know, if you sell a skin for $7, you get $2 per skin. Not bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean,
just hope
yeah,
you get a couple thousand of those. But like,
yeah. But I mean, I feel like there was one where it was like it was a specific like cape or something that just went.
Sandana, you know.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
and
found
they
out
just
what he earned, and I'm not gonna say it, but I was literally like, wrong business. I'm in the wrong business.
yeah, but I think they had to like they had to change it and be like, people can't submit this type of like Sindana or something like that because it just went crazy. And
and I think it's also like now the one they showed in the most recent dev stream, the lovely big cape. Like, you know, so like, that's gorgeous, you know, but like there was no real cape, even still, like there hasn't been many good capes with good cloth. So he really did like
yeah. Crazy.
I had that one cape from, I think it was like buying the little package for like TennoCon last year.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, the big with all the lights and yeah.
I like it, but like when you're bullet jumping, it just kind of got in the way. So.
And even
it's
now
very
the new one looks
floofy.
like it's even like on it was so big it was clipping even on the dev stream, like the thing was folded over. So
yeah.
They just want the edgy 12-year-olds. They just want the. It's a valid player base, but it's like they want the edge.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many that I just want to like.
Oh yeah.
I keep going through the store and I'm like, ooh, that's neat.
Those
That'll
$7
go cool.
add up very quickly. Like
For sure. Yeah. I keep putting like things on my Uriel though, and it always looks really cool. And then I start using his one, and I spin, and it's like a huge like line just going
it doesn't
through.
affect the flying physics because like those things are going.
yeah, it's going crazy. So, yeah. Trina, what was the next thing we wanted to talk about?
Oh yeah, so I think Jake was kind of looking into your Instagram a little bit, and he noticed that you do drag. Does that inspire like your TennoGen creations at all, or even just as you're kind of thinking through just creating anything?
I mean, it kind of does. To me, like it's the creative process. You know, like for example, if I do a Warframe or if I'm making a look or a wig, it's like you start off with your mood boards. You start off like what's the core concept we're doing here, and that's kind of so. For me, like even though I've only mostly done male frames, I have like a list of like female frames I want to make cunty. Like so that's kind of like so that's how, like, everyone goes for it. Like I said, like most people go for like the edgy and the cool. I'm like I want pretty skins. Like I want skins that have ornate metals, and so that is that kind of like my natural style, which I have, which is kind of like not always punk like this, but like it's I very much like Y2K. Like I love that kind of like lots of metals, lots of stuff. Like I want it to look really cool and like that's usually what I go for when I design my things. I'm like, okay, what's one for the girlies? Like like how can I make this not that's always just like here's one with like now he's even more like even though there's someone was like Vauban being a French general, I was kind of like okay, but who's another French general? Bonaparte. That's kind of like just so sometimes it's kind of it's a little bit like a little less.
Yeah,
wide.
Napoleon would have been in drag for sure.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
a short man, of course he'd wear heels.
Yeah.
But that's why like so in the artistic sense, it's kind of like especially when I'm doing helmets, I'm trying to think of like okay, the same thing you make a wig, like what's the silhouette, what's the thing, like what's it there's certain things that are the same design process, but obviously drag is a lot more like pain and like you're trying to do something for
tactile
a performance versus here something that matches the theme of the Warframe, So there's definitely parallels. I wouldn't say that drag has inspired the TennoGen, but there is certain things that are kind of like I think it's mostly helmets. It's kind of like when I'm looking for cool wigs and I'm looking at the really interesting shapes that people make nowadays. I'm always like, but can you transfer that into like technocyte flesh? Like what would be like, you know? And now obviously there's operator fashions, which are kind of cool, but it's like it would be nice to make stuff for the operators because there's now more emphasis on the drifter and stuff like that. But most like it's a very small amount of people buy those, so it's kind of like, would you do a lot of efforts for something that might not have always the best return? Unless I'm like very inspired, like I need to have this in the game, you know. But that's usually kind of that's kind of how they're loosely.
Is there any like warframes that you maybe haven't started with or anything like that, but you would like to make something for?
Yes. I mean, the Banshee one is like, it's more because like I have a list of things that I submitted in the past, and I know looking at now, they weren't good, but now I have the skill set where I'm like, okay, I can turn this into something really cool. So that's why I want to go back to one of my first Banshee. I'm like, I wanted a screaming Banshee. So I made it look like it was awful. It was really bad. But now I have like, you know, since we have Dagath with the whole, I'm like, okay, we could probably have an open channel and we have like all these ornates and make her look like she's actually like listening. So she's the one I want to finish. I have a Henry VIII Grendel. I want to have it really, because, you know, to me, he's so rotund and like, I love with like, you know, the old fashioned helmet with the feather. So I want to do but he's also getting a new deluxe
skin,
you know, they did one for the Chinese celebration the year before. I also have a helmet I want to do. I think Atlas needs some love. So I wanted to do an Atlas helmet, or maybe it'll be a full Atlas. I have a Sight 09 one that I'm looking at, which is like, I want him to be like, you know, in the Buckingham Palace, they have the beefeaters with the big black. I want that kind of like, because he's very infested military. I want to go, and he's obviously British in it. So I wanted to go the other side of that, which is more like, I think like Royal Guard, like, so it'd be more nice metals, less, you know, edgy. So that's what I want to do. Maybe they won't allow me, but I hope they'll allow me to have a helmet that's quite just like a big, things. And there was one other one that was also on the. I love Mirage. Like Mirage is one of my favorite ones. So I've always wanted to do like a proper Mirage, but her base model, those knee pads are disgusting to work with. So it's kind of, you know, so it's like, do I make a skin for her that would look better with the Mirage Prime that they just turn off the, you know? So I have a few skins that I basically want to redo. There was also, I had a Necros helmet that was more like, you know, like it was inspired by African tribes, like shamans, you know, so it had like, by that time, like it was like, you know, I had like flames or like fake effects of like, you know, like the kind of the straw kind of cowl, and he had like inspired by like the old witch doctor thing. So that was kind of the idea I wanted, because Necros doesn't have a lot of things either. But usually the newer ones like Hildrin, Dagath. Oh, I do have a Dagath one also, Celtic horse lady, but she's got new skin, so no. But usually with the newer ones, I'm kind of like Citrine. I am not sculpting geode rock thingies, like, you know. So it's like, that's why sometimes it's kind of like, it's like no. But I love the classics. I love the things. But I think, we'll see. Like the new Foley, she's interesting. Yeah, I think her body and stuff is cool. I hate the helmet. I don't like the fact that the big globule covering the eyes. I was thinking of like, if her alt helmet's decent, but maybe she would be cool to make. Once again, metallics, pretty. Yeah. I know. I don't mind the Warframe aesthetic, but I'm always like, when I see a Prime, I'm like, why can't we have more metals on? You know. So I think something more ornate. And I had an old Octavia skin that I thought was actually pretty decent, but I didn't get in. But it was inspired by Gothic architecture, so there's lots of like, you know, like ornate trellises and stuff in the flesh. So they said it was a bit too literal. So maybe it was like, might be cool to bring that back and see what I can do with that, like, you know, the vibe of having she's like a very modern, cool, But I want to say, can we bring that to more like a darker, not Dark Souls, but like more of a darker Gothic vibe, like, you know, she's more, you know, that
would go well with like the new stuff, right?
Right,
like,
now's the time.
Yeah, exactly, with the cathedral area and stuff.
I think,
like
you know, that's what, like, that's the 1999. So I think that's the list of in my head. Like, a lot of them is just to fix things, because I don't want to always go ahead. I'm always like, okay, now I'm better. I want to go back and fix certain things, you know. But it's just like, it's choosing the frame that will have not a lot of stuff for it that people use, but they need more stuff. You know, like for example, like Wukong is so popular as a Prime. Like, would it be better to make a new Wukong? But he already has things that are pretty decent. So, you know, it's these kind of things where it's like, you know, but there's also new factions that we're allowed to do. So we're allowed to do Cetus, Would an Ostron frame be interesting? Like, you know, that is that kind of like there's lots of different things. But I think it'll be Banshee, then Sight will be the, I think, and then Grendel. I don't know if you've ever seen, like, you know, the teeth where his belly opens up. That's to sculpt on is so disgusting. The low polys are basically so razor thin that it takes a lot of work to fix in order to just begin sculpting onto it. So, and that's where I'm kind of like, if anything makes me go into Blender, I'm like, no. I don't want to have to go and fix these in Blender because I don't like Blender. So that's usually where I'm like, no. I open up, I'm like, ugh, gross. No, not starting.
Is there so like is there kind of limitation? Like I assume there's limitations to what you can do for a frame's TennoGen. They have to, I assume, test it to make sure it doesn't break the game or anything like that. You know, like no. Is there anything that like you think would be cool if you could add something that maybe is not like possible at the moment, or maybe just like I think like Vauban, they showed off his new deluxe skin and stuff like that, and apparently you can like switch out as like you can change to like a vest and stuff like that, like being able to like actually like almost have layers to a specific frame, or like anything like that you kind of feel like would be really beneficial or like kind of cool to be able to design for. I
mean, it's kind of weird, like, because the technical limitations are imposed on us so that it's easier for them to implement. So, like, for example, like, so, you know, when we do a TennoGen, like, we get the low poly of the body of the Warframe that's in the engine already, and we sculpt onto it to make new textures. So we don't touch that because that's already rigged. It can do animations. It can do, like, no, so that's why the body's a little bit like that.
Right.
But like, we can go crazy with the helmet. So brand new helmet, brand new geometry. You know, that's where it is.
Cool.
So, and there's also then like things like, you know, there's triangle limits. So like, you know, you can't go too many polygons on things because it's harder to render the more polygons there is. Like, textures are a certain size. So basically, since Warframe runs on basically like the shittiest laptop ever, that also means that we have the same constraints that the artists do in-house, you know. So that's like, there's some things that I understand why, but there was certain things like, you know, we can't do helmets certain ways because of the fact that it might occlude the reticle when you're aiming over shoulder, you know. So there's these kind of things where like, if I can't see, I can't see. I still if I look cool, you know. But I definitely think, like, you know, for example, like if the Warframes, like the base Warframes, like Mirage, like they had an option where you could take on and off the knee pads, you know.
Right.
But if you're buying a skin and I as a TennoGen artist give you a skin for Mirage, and I was like, I didn't do anything for the knee pads. It's like, you know, the bang for the buck is not that good. But like, even when if we submit, so like, say for example, if we submit a jetpack and we have like the VFX little like plane for like, this will be fire. And we can tell DE, like, I want this to be fire, and they'll actually put the effects that they have already in the game.
Oh, that's
like,
cool.
So they will do a little bit of work, but it's like
they're
not going to fix anything for us. They're not going to do, like, you know. And for example, if we want things animated, so, you know, if you have things that are floating like this, like, you know, or something like that, you can technically do it yourself and submit it, but you can also tell them, and if they're lucky, they might fix, you know, but they prefer you to have the animations inbuilt in the file that you sent. So that's the thing that, you know, so like they're already so busy, like so for us it's very hard even like to get feedback. Like, you could be waiting 3 or 4 months for feedback, and they might give you like a really like a good like paint over, like, do it this way, or like, no. So I don't know if there's anything I would change to make the things. It would be like, I would love that we could supply a set, for example, like, you know, if you do an armor set. Like, I want to give this all as one. I don't want him to buy it individually, or, you know, like, but you can, for example, if you do a skin, you can submit like a second alt helmet with it and say that you get 2. One of the Grax skins is you can ask for things, but if it was like using stuff for the auxiliary slot, for example, like, we won't be able to do that for the body, but we could do it for the helmet, you know, like that kind of stuff, like, you know, like, oh, this ponytail could be turned on and off, like those things you could do and you could ask it, but that requires a programmer. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. It's a tricky one. There's so much. I know there's certain rules where it's kind of like artistic. Like, they won't let us touch like the prime gold. You're not allowed to have gold in your metallics. It has to be a different color. I'm like, You know, like so the small things are like, are we really going to die on this hill? But I think,
is it eyes? You can't have eyes.
Can't
is
have
that
eyes.
it?
No.
Yeah. Okay.
Mirage is the only one that's an exception.
Okay.
She's a jester's mask, but like no eyes. It needs to be humanoid face-esque, but not like eyes, nose. You know, so that's why usually people go for like flatter pieces, and they put like the lights on the side. You can still hint at the face, but they can't. And even if you like use like Mesa, you can't do cloth really. But if it looks like it's infested to look like a cloth, fair game. So like you are navigating more the art guides styles than the like the technical ones. All artists kind of know you cannot not follow a technical guideline, but the creative one is where most people trip up. They're like, this is not going to fly, and sometimes it could be like, we just don't think it works, and you're like, I can't work with that, but okay, like so that's why sometimes like you're not always going to get feedback. They give you feedback on the ones that are close to being good enough to go in, but they're not going to give everyone feedback because they're like, it takes too much time. The artists are busy doing they're probably already working on Tau, so they're not going to take the time to take an hour of their day to go through people's TennoGen and be like, no, fix this, so I know there's one thing when you asked me the question, there's one thing that came to my mind that was like this, but I can't remember what it is now. It's it was something. It was like, I think it was a certain faction or something that we're not allowed to. That made no sense. I can't remember. But yeah,
okay.
It's fine. They're fine. Like they're fine. It's just it'd be nice to have more like more options. Like I think it'd be nice.
And I mean, in a sense, you're doing a job. In a sense, like you're possibly getting paid for this, so it's. Oh, go ahead.
No. I remember. I would like. It's not a thing that we would. So when you're doing a Warframe skin, basically they give you textures also. Like, so you have like the tint mask, the diffuse, like the stuff that is in the base model. But they changed over the material library, I think about 4 years ago. So a lot of the new frames, they don't give you the diffuse, which is like the gray values of the body, so like how dark things are, and like other things like so you might get like a tint map. And you might get like the normal. Normals are basically everything you sculpt. It comes into a texture called a normal. So it's flat in the engine, but the rendering makes it look like there's 3D. So that's what's called a normal map.
Okay.
Like but we don't get like the roughness or the metallic maps. So we have to normally do it by eye. So you have to look at it in engine. You have to look at it like export. That's such a pain. I would really like that's me. So I would love like, okay, we can go back to the old days where they give you all the things. So you still have to go in and Photoshop, color pick their gray of their map and color pick your gray. Like that is 10% off. It will not match. It will not get in. So it was a little bit. It was still guessing, but now there's so much more guesswork to like trying to get unless you do your own skin from scratch. Cool, because like you have full range. But if you're doing like an alt helmet for an existing body. It's all guesswork. You're like, I hope it looks like it matches, and if not, you won't know. You might not find out.
Yeah. Interesting. Is color like a big thing for you? But like, I think about it in the way that like a lot of people do adjust the colors of their Warframe and stuff like that once there's the whole sense of fashion frame, and I'm sure you know a lot about that, right? But like, is color like as important to the finalization of something like that, or the fact that it can be changed?
I think it's tricky because, like, for example, when you submit something to the store, and like, no matter how many times people vote for it, like that's not a accepting factor. Like it might be on like if they're internally on the fence, maybe if they say, oh, it's a very popular, it might sway them to like, okay, let's let it in. Like so it's more like a marketing, like you're just making nice stuff for the store so people see like, whoa. But as I said, like most people are going to change it, but you kind of want that first look, because when you see it in the store as well, that's the thumbnail. So you want something that kind of at least intrigues them. But I think most of the TennoGen artists, like generally, like they look pretty good. Like for example, if you're looking for like a nice what was it, Ember skin, you're probably going to make sure the fire is always orange, and you're going to have something that's kind of, so I don't think I've never seen any, no, I have seen one or two that were actually really bad colors. But there are also like some, I think they're just some meme skins. But nothing is like, it's more like they basically want you to follow the rule also, like, like 60%, it's like usually 60, 30, 10, like majority is one big thing, and then the next is a little bit smaller. Like that's kind of how the things are meant to go. But like if you mix things like really ugly, like a really aggressive, like pink, for example, like all pink, hot pink rhino, that's not going to sell. So you do have to play it a little, but it's basically just the final marketing wrapper. I think but then it could also be like they can tweak the values. You submit your suggested colors for the default. You submit it, and they usually are the ones that finally get in the thing. But like they might tweak them a bit so they look a bit more aesthetically pleasing.
Yeah.
That's like super insightful when it comes to like colors and textures and everything. So
yeah, it's a lot underneath the hood. Like it's kind of the sculpting is kind of like, that's why when I made up the YouTube series, I was like very much like, okay, people think it's mostly just like the sculpting part. That is literally like 30% of the work. It's all the stuff else. It's like okay, how do I make this now into a low poly? Because you're sculpting like millions of polygons, that's not allowed. And then like, how do I do my unwrapping and UVs and my textures and my skin? Like it's actually a full pipeline you have to understand. And I think that's usually where it's like, I'm like, oh, like sculpting, and then like, oh no, I'm gonna have to go into Maya now, and that's where it's like you literally like it's the worst part, and then you do like the textures and the baking, the texture part, like where you're coloring things out and making them. That's not too bad. Substance Painter is kind of fun. It's like just just painting things and if you did most of the work in your sculpt, Substance Painter will take that straight in and will kind of, here's what you had, and you have to just clean it up, so it can save yourself time. But like the low poly, taking the final renders. Like you have to do it like at your colors, then you have to do it in the RGB colors, and you have to do it in the final engine texture, and like all these things, and then you're like, by the end you're like, I don't even care that gets in. Like you're like you fall out of love so quickly in the process. Like as soon as you're like, I don't, I'm sick of this. Like so it's you really have to just kind of bite the bullet and just keep going.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but it's fun. Like it is, in the end when it gets in the engine, it is worth it. It's just. Yeah. It's a lot of work, especially like if you could make 10 things a year, one might get in, and then the rest are kind of like, why do I even try? So it's that kind of like it's a punishing thing, but once it's in, it's worth it.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
All right, well, I think Jake had a fun little game for the last little bit of our episode, so I'll let Jake take it away.
All right. So, okay, I was thinking about Connor doing drag and stuff like that, and I thought, is there anything in kind of Warframe that might resemble drag or something like that? So I was like trying to think like what kind of sounds like drag names. It was harder than I thought. I was trying to like see if there was any mods that like sounded like drag names.
We have like Hot Sludge.
yeah. Primed Flow was the one.
I mean, there is some good characters like Paladino. Like there's some characters that are really good. Like that is a a drag queen would love an outfit like hers. Even like Lotus's ones, like there's some of the fashion senses, like especially with the 1999. There's certain things where it's when they're. I think it's not since Rebecca took over, but it's kind of around the same time that they're kind of going to that direction where everyone's like, things are cool and people look cool, so I think that's like all the characters. They're basically even like the small things, the Sisters of Parvos, like all those, like even I can't remember her name, but the main head lady who's very angry, she's still kind of cool, so there's there's definitely those characters that, especially like most drag queens are usually inspired by real people or like idols you've had growing up. Like I want to be like like insert name here. But sometimes when you like and I know it's definitely on the circles on Twitter or now mostly Blue Sky that I'm in. As soon as an update drops, you'll see like, whatever, such a bad bitch. Like so the gays will always find their way of like, she's the new icon, So like I'm hoping I'm getting an outfit made currently that's gonna basically be like Nyx's bodysuit, but like in a proper like drag outfit, like court, So there's definitely gonna be inspiration there, but in terms of names, I don't know what you have. Like, is
Okay. So yeah, I tried to find. So the game is it a drag queen or is it a Warframe character? So I went sleuthing online. I wikied famous drag queens because I don't know a lot of drag queens. So okay. So, all right. So you guys just gotta tell me if it's a drag queen or a Warframe character. Okay. First one, Lucky Stars.
that's a drag queen.
Yeah. Yeah. Drag
From season 17 of Drag Race.
Okay.
He's so specific.
Yeah. Yeah.
She paints
Yeah.
her face with the. I know. Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
we're not
I'll
gonna-
ask you. I'll ask you more about them once. Okay. Little Duck.
Warframe.
Yeah. That's.
But that would
yeah.
be a good. Little Duck Walk would be a great drag queen name.
There you go. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So yeah, that's the Solaris United person that you talked to in Warframe.
Oh, can we just like there? I hope they fix those faces with the new updates they've done with the operators because I have a personal vendetta. The Cetus people are ugly, and the
Yeah.
Fortuna people not that better. So I'm hoping that they'll make their wage like now everyone's hot, like or at least they're
Yeah.
more realistic. Because Cetus people, it looks like fetal alcohol syndrome. Like everyone has a weird I don't.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I asked Rebecca. I'm like, please, like please,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Hemiocyte.
Hemosite, that's a Warframe thing, but I'm trying to think of what the
Yeah.
Hemosite is.
I know I'm having trouble placing it, but I know it's Warframe.
Yeah, it's Warframe. It was a infested boss that you fight on one of the
Yeah.
I forget
an
which
assassination.
planet. Yeah, it's an assassination.
An Eris,
Indigo.
See, I know Indigo personally. That's drag queen. I know. Yeah.
I put it in because it was she's a Swedish YouTuber.
No, I want to get like the. But also, Indigo does sound like it would be some sort of like syndicate system person.
Yeah, exactly.
You tripped me up because I was like, oh, well, there's Endo in the game. So.
Yeah. Okay, Chad Michaels.
Come on. That's an easy one. That is a drag queen. Anyone who doesn't know Chad Michaels' share is literally.
I told I went through this with my partner earlier this morning to see if it helped if he knew any of it because he doesn't play Warframe at all. So, and yeah, he knew who Chad Michaels was right away. I'm like, oh, okay. Hyena Pack.
That's a Warframe boss.
Frame.
Yeah,
They're very cool though.
yeah. I think that would be a good drag name too.
That would be a good
Hyena Pack.
Or like a drag house, like there's 4 of them. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good
yeah,
reality TV show.
yeah. Okay, Mother.
Well,
Well, that's Warframe.
is that both?
Yeah, it's a book.
Yeah, that's a term, a drag term. But I was like, is there a
Right.
character called Mother?
In
From the
Andrade family.
Deimos.
Yeah.
Mother.
I liked that one. I thought that was good. Okay, Bob.
Bob. Like Bob the drag queen.
Yeah.
Okay. Because when you say the name, my first brain goes like, I'm going through like all the Warframe characters. I'm like,
Yeah.
Bob?
Yeah. Bob.
Right?
So simplistic. Like, is there?
Yeah.
BOHB. Like then we're thinking like a grittier name, Bob. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Nora Knight.
Nor Knight. That's a Warframe, but that would be a great drag queen name.
That would
Isn't it a good one? Yeah.
That would be a good one.
Yeah. So, Dahi.
Dahi.
Is that
That's the
Warframe?
Irish name for David. Dahi.
I'm gonna say
That's
drag
not
queen.
ringing the bell for either.
I have no idea.
No idea. That's a drag queen.
Hey.
She's a musician. I saw. So yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah. The Sergeant.
Sorry. I feel bad for the sergeant. Like, that's one of the worst Warframe bosses.
Yeah.
But didn't they say they were going to give him like a now this when I say recently, my brain is it's probably like 8 years ago. But I remember like there was some big talks where they were going to make like a proper Neff annual boss, and they were going to make a proper sergeant rework. And it just kind of fell away.
I feel like they have a lot. They have a lot they want to do. I feel like for that game and stuff. So, all right, last one, Mrs. Brown.
I mean, I'm going to think of Mrs. Brown's boys from the show in Ireland, the drag queen.
Yeah,
But also,
Brown
Mrs.
boys.
Brown. Can you imagine like a sister part of us being called Mrs. Brown? You know, like that's it's so banal. It becomes funny again. You know, like,
Yeah. I put that in for you, Connor, because you're Irish.
I also hate Mrs. Brown.
Do you?
It's like you know, like it's made for like not boomers, but it's definitely made for like the older generation. Like it's that old guy. It's like ooh. No,
I loved it. I loved it. I watched it a lot. Yeah,
You're a boomer.
I am a boomer. I apparently.
Go to bed at
Gen
9.
X. I'll give you Gen X.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh goodness.
But yeah, those are the list I had. So
Did I pass?
yeah, I think you guys all passed.
I'm surprised like you said like words like Nix and like these names, but that'd be a
Nix.
great drag name, you know.
Yeah, but I was trying to stay away from Warframes because they're just so
easy.
like easy, you know.
That's
So you
true.
went with Little Duck.
Little Duck. I was trying to think of like Lucky Stars, Little Duck, like
Nice.
Little Duck would be a great name.
yeah.
I think because I just did a disruption mission, that's why I'm like Little Duck is
Probably
right
yeah.
in my head still.
Yeah.
I wish they would do more with Little Duck. Like there was only a couple things I did with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, they went back to Fortuna with the under, which I said I haven't done much in the Knocko update. I basically played it for an hour when it dropped, and then I was like, I'm gonna go back to it later. You know, I bought Knocko straight away. I'm like,
You bought it. Right?
Yeah. I was like, when a new Warframe drops, because I usually buy the Prime Access every 3 months, so I kind of have a consistent amount of platinum. So I always make sure I buy like the new Warframe. Because I used to be in the creator program because I used to, I'm not anymore because I don't make the YouTube videos as much.
Right.
So you'd always get the free thing every update, and it was lovely. Like I don't have to spend a dime. Where now, like I have to actually.
Yeah.
I could go back and make
gotta
four
work for it.
videos a month and go back into it, but it's like, nah, that's fine. I'd rather do TennoGen than the YouTube videos.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Right. So. Cool.
All right. Well, I think that kind of wraps up our episode then. If you want to, Connor, tell everyone where they can find you on socials.
Oh God. I mean, if you search Hydroxate, you'll find me on literally anything: Twitter, YouTube, Instagram. You'll find me there. There's not any weird websites either with that name. So like, I used to post a lot more like on things, but like Blue Sky is where I do mostly of like the creative stuff. And every so often, if I really like something, I'll put it on Twitter too. I avoid Twitter like the plague because it's awful. You know,
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah.
yeah, it's it's kind of so it's one thing like you will find me on Blue Sky, or like or Instagram but Instagram is more like it's a personal / TennoGen, like it's a bit of both, you know. It's not the
Right.
things, but I'm planning to go back and do some more YouTubes. Like I want to do I just need to make sure that I have the template made. It'll be easy to drop in, drop out videos, and you know, but it's like, well, you know, if I go back to working remotely this year, then maybe I have more time to do leaving my computer on for 4 hours. So maybe you'll see YouTube too. But yeah, that's mostly it. Like, you know, I think Blue Sky is the best way.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where we've been living too as well.
Yep.
For the most part, just a little less noise over on Blue Sky,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So, well, we
It's really-
super appreciate you joining us, and it was really insightful to kind of talk about
Thank you for having me.
UI
That was good fun.
and art and fashion and all of that. So hopefully, maybe in the future, we'll have you back on and kind of see what new creations you've made.
I'm always available, and you know, if anyone have any suggestions too of like this Warframe needs love, send it my way because I like a challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless
Okay.
it's citrine.
Unless it's citrine. Yeah. Don't do
Unless citrine is a no.
No geodes in the future here. So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks you so much for joining us, and thank you, listeners. Of course, you can find us over, like we said, on Blue Sky or over on our YouTube channel. And of course, Hey Kiddo is a part of the Gamerheads family, so we do have our Gamerheads podcast website that you can find us as well. So we hope that you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you for the next one. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.